Today's topic is capital letters and punctuation marks. It is a very important topic in our English language because when we are writing any sentence, we must know where to use capital letter and where to use punctuation marks. It gives beauty in our writing. Moreover, it gives sense to our sentences. So let's learn about capital letters and punctuation marks. First of all, we will learn about capital letters. Here are some rules for capital letters. The first rule is a sentence always starts with capital letter. Yes, in a sentence, when you write any sentence, it will always start with a capital letter. Here you can see he is going for his dance classes. Here H is mentioned with red color. That means it will start with capital H. It is a sentence and it will start with capital H. So whenever you are writing a sentence, you will always start it with capital letter. Next rule is the names of people and places begin with a capital letter. That means if you are writing a name of any person or name of any place, then you will start it with capital letter. Here is an example. London. London is the name of a place and it will start with capital letter. Similarly, Divya is the name of a girl and it will also start with capital letter. So next rule is the pronoun I. I've seen many students, they always write I small. But whenever you are writing I alone, then it will always be written as a capital letter. For example, I love to play basketball. So I will always be capital. Fine, whenever you are writing I, whether in the starting of a sentence, at the starting of the sentence or in between of a sentence, it will always be capital. The next rule is we use capital letters for the initials of someone's name. For example, MS Dhoni. Initial means when we write the short form of the name of a person. That is initial. So, if we are writing the initial of someone's name, then it will always be capital. You can see here M and S. They are written in capitals. So, whenever you are writing initial of the name of anyone, then they will always be capital. The next rule is titles before names begin with capital letters. For example, Mr. Rohan Rai, Dr. Nivedita Sen. You can see here that MR and DR, they are starting with capital letters. So whenever you are writing the titles, Doctor, Engineer, Mr., Mrs., so they will always start with capital letter. The next rule about it, names of rivers, mountains, roads and buildings, they begin with capital letters. So, if you are writing the name of any river, any mountain, any road or any building, the word will always start with capital letter, like the Yamuna. Y is capital here. Mount Everest, M and E. They both are capital here. The Sham Road, T and R, both are capital. Fine. So the next rule is names of months of the year and days of the week. They also begin with capital letters. So whenever you are writing the name of any month or day, so you will always begin it with capital letter, like this is the month of July, so you will start it with capital J. Similarly, if I say that which day is today, you will say whether it is mentioned here Tuesday. Suppose it is Tuesday, so T will always be capital. Okay. Next is We use capital letters in the names of national holidays and festivals. So, if you are writing the name of any national holiday or you are writing the name of any festival, then the first letter will always be capital. Like here, you can see so many examples are written: Gandhi Jayanti, Independence Day. They both are national holidays, and Holi and Christmas, they are festivals. So, we always begin these names with capital letters. Next is titles of stories, books, films, magazines, and newspapers. They begin with capital letters. If you are writing the title of any story or any book or any film or any magazine or any newspaper, so you will always start it with capital letter. You can see here many examples are given here. The Times of India. The Times of India is the name of a newspaper, and the first letter will always be capital. Similarly, the Hindu is another name of a newspaper, so it will always start with capital letter. The Jungle Book, it's a story book and it's a movie also, so it will start with capital letter. Next is we use capital letters for adjectives formed from proper nouns. So we all know that with the help of proper nouns we can make some adjectives, like from China we can make Chinese, from India we can make Indian, and America will become American, and Japan will become Japanese. So if you are using the adjectives formed from any proper noun, so the first letter will always be capital. Like here you can see the example, I love Chinese food. Chinese is the adjective made from the proper noun China, so the first letter will be capital. And Ria is a Japanese girl. Here Japanese is an adjective and it is formed from the word proper noun Japan, so here J will be capital. So these were the rules for capital letters. Now here are some more rules about marks of punctuation. So the first rule, we put a full stop at the end of an assertive sentence. So if we are writing any simple sentence, any statement sentence or any assertive sentence, then it will end with a full stop. Like the Bible is the holy book of Christians. It is a simple sentence, it is an assertive sentence, and it will end with a full stop. The next rule, we put a question mark at the end of an interrogative sentence. Interrogative sentence means question sentence, when we ask some question from someone else. So if we are writing any question, so it will always end with a question mark. Like here is an example, who stood first in the class? So it is a question, so it will end with a question mark. We use the exclamation mark at the end of an exclamatory sentence that expresses a strong emotion or a feeling. So exclamation mark, you can see here is a mark of exclamation. When we feel something, we want to express our emotions and feelings, then we always put this exclamation mark after a sentence. Like, what a match it was, means you are so happy, so excited to see that match, so you'll put an exclamation mark after this sentence. And we also use the exclamation mark at the end of an interjection. Interjections are sudden feelings like hurrah, bravo, wow, alas, oh. These are interjections. So we always put an exclamation mark after the interjections. Now there are some more rules about the use of comma, that how to use comma. First of all, the comma is used between items or names in a list. For example, you can see that if you are writing the items, few items or the names, so you will use comma in between. Like for example, you can see, I went for the picnic with Arpit, Archit, Arvind, Arpan and Arnav. These are the name of persons. So we have put a comma in between all of them. Another example, John had soup, rice, vegetables, curry, and curd for dinner. Here you can see it's a list of items. So here again we have put comma in between those items. So whenever you are writing some names or few items, then you will always put a comma in between those items and names. Next is, a comma is used to separate someone's name or address from the rest of the sentence. So, whenever you are writing name of any person or address of someone, then you will always use comma to separate it from the whole sentence, from the rest of the sentence. Like Usha, comma, did you talk to Manjusha about the party? Or will you join us, comma, Pulkit? So here are two examples. You can see some name of a person is mentioned here, and in the first example, after Usha there is a comma, and in the second sentence before Pulkit there is a comma. So whenever you are writing the name of any person, whether it is at the starting, at the beginning of a sentence, or at the last of the sentence, so you will always use a comma after or before the name. Next is, a comma is used before please and thank you when these words come at the end of a sentence. It's very important that when these sentences are coming at the end of the sentence, like please and thank you, then only you will use a comma just before them. For example, could you pass me that bottle, comma, please. Fine. And the next example is, someone is asking this question, would you like to have some snacks? And the another person replies, no, comma, thank you. So whenever you are writing any sentence like that, in the sentence please and thank you is at the last of the sentence, at the end of the sentence, then you will use a comma just before it. Fine. Thank you so much.